Okay. So let's take a look at the new product features within the access control parameters and the attendance products parameters. So we're going to start the following five part presentation, and this is what you're going to do for today. So we'll start by taking a look at the introduction to standalone access control products and solution. Then once we're done with that, we'll go to other product features that supports 40-door access control. That's the Insider series. Then take a look at the 64-door network access control solution through the use of the Smart PCS platform for managing all those devices in a centralized environment. Then take a look at more other 64 points network at time attendance as solution through the Smart PCS platform as well. Then the last thing we're going to take a look at is introduction to entrance turnstiles. Introduction to entrance turnstiles, whereby you have the swing flaps and the tripods turnstiles. Okay, so beginning with, this is a simple solution for this access control standalone solution. So as you can see, on the access control family products, we have access control that supports single door access. We have more other access control that supports multi-door control systems. So through these standalone access controls, we have devices that supports features such as the face recognition attendance access control, that is. We have devices that supports a fingerprint access control. We have devices that support card access control as part of the authentication. So in this case, most or all our standalone access control are integrated with all those elements that I've mentioned. Some have fingerprint, facial recognition, card functions. So in those cases, each standalone access controller supports a single door access. So in this case, in this simple solution here, this is a network standalone access control, whereby this is connected to the network through the network switch. At the same time, this device can be used for what you call the visitor management through the intercom function. So in this case, if you're someone here and use the call functions, the call will be taken to the intercom monitor, whereby if there's someone within this device, can open the door for you. So the same case again, all these notifications from the access control here can be accessed online through the DMSS application. So meaning that we have some other functions such as remote unlocking. There is alarm push notifications, incoming call push notification, and again, you can set some temporary passwords settings for the users who have been added to this device here. So the major features for this kind of a solution here, for example, this access control face terminal 3214 AW comes with a contactless access. So meaning that through its AI technology, it's going to enable the users contactlessly recognition to improve user traffic efficiency. So in this case, can detect multiple number of people at a go. Then we have video intercom integration. I mentioned something to do with it. So offers integration with a video intercom function, which is going to be more suitable for visitor management scenarios, whereby visitor just comes in, doesn't have the access for face, fingerprint, password, or the card itself. So we have the call function on the device. We just tap on the call function, then it's going to ring at the intercom end. Then whoever is seated where the device is going to open the door for the visitor. So as you can see, this is a single door access control, whereby you can connect to just one lock for single door. We have these other magnetic contacts, and again, we have this exit button to help the user exit the room. Yes, Evans Omondi, I've seen your arm raised. So if there's something, you can air it out before you proceed from this point.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's none, let's proceed on. So in this case, these are some of the product selection for the standalone access control solution. That is for supporting of just a single door. So we have some products that have been delisted, some products that have been introduced or released to the market, and some other products which are recommended for some certain situations in terms of the solution. We have this access control. This is some face terminal that supports wireless network. This device supports 3,000 faces, comes with a 4.3-inch capacitive screen, supports fingerprint. There are some that no support fingerprint. Then this supports card, but there are some that have an optional function. In terms of device communication with other devices, for example, the readers, we have communication through the RS-485 interfaces or the WiGAN protocol. So generally, the devices support the TCP, P2P, and Wi-Fi, which some are optional. For example, this has an optional Wi-Fi function, while these two have Wi-Fi features. So this has been delisted, but it can still support you if you still have it. So these other devices, for example, this 6214S PW and 6213S PW, this supports up to a maximum of 10,000 cards. Some have fingerprint, while some do not come with that function for the fingerprint. For the protocol for communication, supports RS-485 and the WiGAN protocol. So this is a PoE-enabled device, and again supports wireless. So general communication can work with the TCP/IP protocols, the P2P protocol, and again, the device has a better ingress protection against dust-proof levels and waterproof levels. So the new device that we have this 6214J MFW V1 and 6213J. So this supports up to 20,000 faces. This supports 50,000 cards. Except the other components are identical to all these other devices. So to some accessories that you might include into this solution, you might include, let's say, for example, the VTH 5221EW. That's going to be best or suited for visitor management access. Again, this has handheld handset, that is. Alongside, you can add the single door electromagnetic door lock, that is support locking of that particular single door. We have this electric drop bolt, that's another lock. And again, for exit, you can use the plastic exit buttons. If you need to manage the closure of the door, you can use the door closure. You can again add the emergency brake glass, or you can use either the IC cards for access authentication, that is. Or you can use these other cards from Dahua. So model solution for this, this is the FAQ series, ASI, not a FAQ series, yes, FAQ series ASI 6214S PW. We have some other related models, 6214S, 6213S PW. This model, like so before, it's a PoE-enabled device, so you don't need to use the power adapter, just the PoE switch to power it up. Supports wireless, and again has an ingress protection of 65 rating. So more other features for this is that supports multiple user recognition to a maximum of 4 faces at once. Supports mask detection, so it can detect whether you have a mask. Supports again user management on the web, so you can access this device using the web interface and do multiple configurations to it. Same time, supports audio prompt. That is, you can personalize your audio voice in MP3 format and upload it to the device. Supports multiple languages, up to 11 kinds. And again, the rating, I've mentioned it here. And then again, video intercom. That supports 3 types of call options. That is to contact the reception and unlocking of the doors or gates from the indoor. And again, supports call push to the DMSS under the customer call room mode. So in case you have someone that doesn't have the details keyed into this device, you can always use the intercom integration with the device so that you can communicate better with the person outside the door. So this is access of the mobile phone's DMSS, accessing those particular records, such as the push notifications, call notification through your mobile phone. So in this case, through the DMSS, one can achieve the live view and playback. One can still achieve the real-time event reporting through the P2P or the platform as a service protocol. Then we have this call push notifications through the custom room call, such as the VTO. At the same time, you have this remote door opening through the DMSS application. Then the other things that you can set some temporary password for your visitors and short-term rental houses. So once the password expires, you have to renew the password for that particular user. So in this case, this is how this works. To the public network, you can use this PAS or a platform as a service to connect to the cloud. And the cloud will be sending the data directly to the owner's DMSS application. So the second part, discussion for the FortiDoor access control solution, that is the Insider series. So the Insider series, it's a web-centric access control device that has its own web platform that you don't require any other platform to manage the device. So you can use the device interface to manage the devices connected to the Insider series access control. So this supports up to 40 doors, but you have to use 19 other subcontroller to match up those 40 doors. This supports 2 doors, and this other 19 subcontroller is going to support 38 doors, plus these 2 doors are going to make up to 40 doors. So this SC controller, that is 3202B, that's for supporting 2 doors, has its own web platform. So you can see from this point, we don't see the Smart VSS tool here or a platform to manage this. So because this has its own access control platform, that is a web-centric one. So in this case, you can connect to the enrollment readers to collect information for the cards and the fingerprints. At the same time, you can connect to the Bluetooth card readers. So in this case, for you to use the Bluetooth card reader, you have to ensure that you are assigned Bluetooth card information, which is accessible through the Bluetooth card server. So we're going to see the modes of which one can use to communicate to the readers for you to open the door. So this, being a network device, can be connected to a PoE switch and link up to more other subcontrollers to enable us to achieve these 40 doors. So we have this supporting 2 more doors. You can see, for example, in this case, there's 1 door that supports the Bluetooth card reader, then Bluetooth reader, that is. And again, we have the 2102A fingerprint and card reader as well. So this supports 2 doors, while this other supports 2 more other doors. So in this case, to achieve these 40 doors, you have to add more other subcontrollers. So the main highlight for the Insider series is that it provides or issues this touchless access, meaning that one can use the mobile device to conveniently and securely gain the access through the Bluetooth. That's connection pairing with the user's mobile phone. At the same time, this has what we call the lightweight system. So it's going to offer you these web-centric operations that are going to eliminate configuration of additional platforms. Let's say, for example, the Smart VSS or the DSS. So if those 2 are out of your reach, you can use its web-centric platform to do the configuration and management of these other devices connected to it. Then the last highlight for this gives us this simplified installation, simply because the device itself supports the PoE connection and provides power to the locks. So in this case, they don't really need to power the locks separately. The locks can get the power from the device itself. So these are some of function list for the Insider series. As you can see, there are so many of them, the capacity of those supported, the dashboard itself, the access control, the advanced access controls, etc. So in this case, the ones in red are the ones, some of the new features that are within this controller. So those number of doors supported, suppose up to 40 doors, can support up to, for example, 1,000 users. And each of these 1,000 users can have one password, 5 normal cards, a Bluetooth card, and fingerprints for each person, 3 fingerprints for each. At the same time, when you're doing the access configuration, the advanced access configuration for this, you can set up, for example, the fast card unlock function. You can set up multi-color unlock function, the global anti-passback, and the global multi-door lock. So in this case, those are the preferred advanced control settings for this access control. So when it comes to there are two guys who've raised their hands. You can see we have Winnet and Evans Omondi. You can lower a hand if there's nothing that, maybe, for example, you wanted, maybe you pressed accidentally, you can lower the hand. I'll lower it on your behalf. So if you have a question, you can type it on the chat area. I'm going to take a look at it at the end of the session. So I was talking about the flexible access through this the Bluetooth connection. So once the administrator assigns you the Bluetooth card functions downloaded from the Bluetooth card server, then that's when you're going to use the Bluetooth card information with the one that was within the Insider series web-centric platform. So in this case, that becomes easier for you to end up connecting. So it has 3 different modes and 2 trigger modes that can be configured in different scenarios. So the distant modes, we have the short, we have the mid, and the long range. So the short range 0 to 20 centimeters, that's roughly nearer to the device itself. Then the mid range is roughly 1 to 2 meters, and the long range is from 5 to 10 meters. Now, how do you connect with these readers? So we have 2 trigger modes. It's either use the normal, just like pairing. Then the other modes, just like shaking the device. As long as the Bluetooth is on, shake the device, then it ends up opening the door, connects with the door, and opens the door for you. Those are the 2 trigger modes that are available at that point. Anthony, you're asking or requesting for time attendance configuration. Yes, that's possible. You can schedule this with you. I can train you on how to do the configuration for the time and attendance. Or you can have an online platform, again, just illustrating how we can set up those time and attendance features for you. So it's possible. I'll leave my number and my email address so that you can contact me. Then you can do this either privately or using the online platform. Okay. So for the Insider series, we have the following. Okay, for those who are asking about the training for the time and attendance configurations, yes, I'm going to share the links to a respective group with the Zoom credentials and everything so that you can follow through. Okay, so as for now, let's take a look at the product promotion. Then for that, I've had a request. I'm going to schedule a lesson for that. So for this Insider series, access controller has 2 different modes. We have the main mode, and again, we have the sub mode. So the main mode is going to act as the main device, which is going to be controlling those 19 subcontrollers. And if you introduce the sub controller, you have to switch the mode from main to sub so that it gets the information from the main itself. So we have the mains and the sub. So some of the access readers that you can use, we have examples of them. For example, there's this ASR 2200 AB that supports Bluetooth, IC card, has 2 communication protocols, RS 485 and the Wiegand protocol. So in this case, you can either use this to connect your readers with this controller. Eva Somondi, the practical training, you have to visit our office, Westlands Mitsumi Business Park, 6th floor. Then we have more other devices, readers, that is the IC card reader, the password, supports the password. And again, these are the two protocols, the common protocols that can be used to connect to this controller. We have one that supports fingerprint, IC card or ID card, or both as well. Then there's this ASR1200E -D. This supports IC card or ID card. So for the mobile applications, we have two types of users. We have for general user, can only access the mobile device, can use the normal modes for accessing this, or the shake mode to access the device itself. For the administrator can do the remote opening of the door. There's real-time push alarm, information notifications, and unlocking records query. So in this case, these two modes are mostly used when you want to access the device, let's say, for example, remotely. On this case again, this being a network device, and again, we have multiple of other subcontrollers, again, are network devices, we prefer the usage of this PoE switch, just to ensure that you can connect to more other subcontrollers without having so many cabling for power during the devices, that is. Therefore, some of the accessories, we have accessories here that can be combined to each and every of those locks just to achieve a solution. So we can see we have the enrollment readers for collecting fingerprint card information from the users so that you can register them to the controller itself. We have the locks, the two locks. We have the strike lock and the door magnetic locks. Then we have, let's say, for example, the exit button, just to ensure that you can exit the door without any kind of issues. So these are the dimensions for this controller. It's not a big controller, it's just a small device, but powerful enough to control multiple doors. So in this case, the main mode, that's for the access control management platform, whereby you can use the web-centric operations. And this eliminates multiple configuration by adding additional platforms such as the smart pieces. So at the same time, again, through the web platform, through the main mode for accessing the device itself, you can offer management of users, access control device, just to name a few. Then this provides touchless access through the Bluetooth, whereby this main mode of this web controller, access controller, that is, supports up to 19 subcontrollers just to reiterate, 40 doors and 1,000 users each. So this includes a 5-step to complete configuration of the device. That's the main control. Just initialize the device, add the devices, add users, add timestamps, then again assign access permissions to, for example, the users who are going to be using multiple doors. Then we have the sub mode controller. So this is going to be used when it comes to using the subcontrollers. So the device, the other core devices can be used with this inside the series, includes this Bluetooth reader, Bluetooth card reader, whereby it comes with a different elegant appearance. It's touchless. That supports the 3 range modes that we talked about before, and then again support longer card reader range up to 5 centimeters. That is, so just place your card slightly next to the device. Is going to be ID'd. Then we have high protection grade, that is suppose IP66. So this is the inside of the access controller. So this access controller is a small device. You can see this is just an enclosure covering the device. It's within the metallic casing, that is. So we have different interfaces for example, linking up with the readers, connecting, let's say, for example, the subcontrollers to the RS-485 interfaces, or the readers, that is. Then again, we have the locks section for the 2 doors it supports on this particular point. So the good thing, this again comes with a power adapter. At this particular point, you can either switch it on or off. So you can see the red part and the blue part. As for the mobile access, I think this is again repeated concept, but it doesn't harm to redo it again. So we have two types of accounts. For one, for administrator account, and then you can have, let's say, for example, 1,000 plus for your employees. So in this case, for admin is only going to be used for main purpose for adding the main controller devices into the DMSS account. And for the employees, just logging into the DMSS. So in this case, other features or parameters for each and every of these two accounts includes, for example, the administrator ends up doing the remote door opening to those 40 doors. For example, some employees are stuck and a certain door, maybe for example, is not well functioning well. So what will happen? The administrator account can end up opening that door well remotely. Then there's real-time alarm push notifications and unlocking records queries. So if I need to get to know the kind of information for the door locks, let's say for the entry and exit, during a certain particular time, the administrator account can do that. Then for the employees, they only can access the mobile device and again can unlock the lock modes for accessing the doors are just the normal and the shake. So in this case, we can say that this can be used in different environments. Let's say, for example, commercial environment or enterprise environments where we have multiple number of employees and you want to have each employee using this access control for accessing the different doors within different environments. So in this case, here we have logical flowchart diagram of how the events work on the devices. First of all, if you need to do the configure the devices, we follow this simple process here. So we have, first of all, the device has to be initialized. Prepare the device first, then add the device to, let's say, for example, using this smart PCS. But in this case, since this has its own web-centric management platform, we don't need to use the smart PCS. Then add the devices, then use, let's say, for example, the add personal management. Let's say you create a department, for example, an organization. To that organization, you create, let's say, for example, some departmental settings for it, then add users as per the departments. Or you can just create a collective or global group, then you add all the users at that particular point. Then you end up doing some modification later on. So starting from this point, initialize and the devices, create your personal management. Then you can create, let's say, for example, from this particular point, you can decide to request a Bluetooth card by email so that each and every of those cards can be integrated with their phone so that you can communicate the device. So once this is done, at the moment, this is optional, but you can have it set up. Then you create some time template settings. So once that's done, you go to assigning the permissions, either to the permission group or the individuals. Then you bind those permissions to the persons of the department. So once that's done, you can go again and access the rule enforcement. Alternatively, now let's say, for example, the users use they sign up and log into the DMSS. So these users had already been assigned, let's say, for example, the Bluetooth information. So to unlock, they just use those three modes. And again, the two modes for either, for example, just the normal pairing or shaking of the phone to access the door and open the door. So then the third part of our discussion is taking a look at the network access control solution. But now this is using a separate platform, that's the smart PCS slide. So the second part we did took a look at the platform, the inbuilt platform for the device without using another platform to manage the devices. So in this case, let's take a look at how you can manage the devices using the smart PCS that supports a maximum of 64 doors. So for this, as you can see, you're using the smart PCS as a platform. So using the smart PCS, you can add up to 64 number of doors or 64 devices for management, that is. So those 64 doors can either be through the integrated access control solution, access control devices, or you can use the access controllers. Now we have different access controllers. For example, access controllers that supports 2 doors, 4 doors, or 8 doors, and the web-centric access controllers support up to a maximum of 40 doors. So in this case, for the Insider series plus more other controllers and some controllers and the integrated devices can total up to a number of 64. So you can see we have the enrollment reader connected to the client PC that has the Smart PCS platform. This is basically just to ensure that you can collect the fingerprint and the card reader, the card information that is. Then we have all these devices are network devices, so they can be connected to a network switch. So for example, in this case, this is an integrated device, a face integrated access controller, control device, not a controller, just a control device, integrated one that supports a single door. Then we have, let's say, for example, this the Insider series that is support of 2 doors. You can see through this card reader, the Bluetooth card reader that we have here, and again just the other general card readers for card identification. Then we have, let's say, for example, linkaging with the IPCs. You can link this again with the controller, the second generation access controller that supports 4 doors. You can see we have 4 readers for each and every door. So for all the doors, we have, let's say, for example, the magnetic lock. We have, let's say, for example, the use button. We have the panic button. But again, we have, let's say, for example, the siren. So in this case, this is just a collective way of managing the devices as central point using the Smart PCS itself. So major highlight for this Smart PCS door access control for the network solutions is that gives or provides us with this central management of all the devices, which can either be the CCTVs, the access control, the attendance, and the intercom systems into one small and medium size scenario. Then the other highlight is that you can complete access control. So it gives you a complete access control, meaning that can offer user management, access control device management, access advanced access control function, like we mentioned before, then again, even the event linkage with the CCTV system, for example, you can see it at this particular point. Then the other good thing is that the Smart PCS Lite platform is free of charge and can support up to a maximum of 64 number of doors. If you have multiple number of doors more than 64, what you can do, you just elevate your platform from the Smart PCS to the DSS Express. If that is not enough, you can elevate it much higher to a professional platform such as the DSS Pro. Now, what you have here, the other thing that we have here is just some function list for the Smart PCS. So I'm only going to focus on the red shaded items. For example, the capacity supports up to 64. Let's say, for example, number of doors. We have the users, supports up to 1,000 users. And then again, each and every of those users can have the following little piece of information, such as 1 password for each, 5 normal cards for each, 3 fingerprints for each, and 2 face images for each individual person. So the devices that we can use for this, we can work with, let's say, for example, access controllers, access controllers, that is, can work with the access control integrated device, and can work with access control time attendance device. These are attendance devices. So it supports 64. Then for the advanced control configuration functions, you can set up the fast card unlock features. You can do the multi-card, multi-person unlock function. You can set up the anti-pass back if you have multiple doors. And again, you can set up multi-door interlock features. So in this case, these are some of the features which are included in the Smart PCS just for effective management of the doors within a certain environment that you're in. So for the product selection for this 64-door network access control solution using the Smart PCS as a platform, you can use any of these devices. You can use, let's say, for example, this third generation access controller with 2 doors, or you can use the second generation access controller that supports 8 doors, but single. These are 2 doors, but dual. For 2 doors single, 4 doors single. And again, we have these 2 doors double. So these are enclosed in the metallic caging, while these are plastic materials that support, let's say, for example, 4 doors single, 2-dose double and a 2-dose single way. So alongside all this, we have some specific features supported by all this. So it generally supports up to, this supports 10,000 users, while this supports 100,000 users because of the so many number of doses. There's 8 doses that we have here. For the access readers, which must be used with these controllers just for its effective door verification, either for fingerprint card or, for example, the password, or the Bluetooth as well. We have these access control readers. We have a variety of them that come with different card support, other features such as the Bluetooth, other mechanical options such as, for example, the password, maybe key in the keys to have the to key in the password, that is. So all of these devices support either RS-485 interfaces for connecting to the controller, or the WIGAN protocol interfaces to connect to the controller. So whichever is better for you, recommended to use one. But for our products, we recommend to use RS-485 on both ends. Okay, so for the access standalone devices, which again can still be used within this solution, since the smart PCs like support those number of doors, we have different types of integrated devices. We have some face integrated devices, or some other that don't support face interfaces. So this supports face, all these support face recognition functions, card functions, fingerprint functions. Some have optional fingerprint, optional card functions, but all of them support the face recognition. So as you can see, we have multiple functional features for all these devices. For example, this supports up to 500,000 cards. So this is a one big device with a powerful ability of retaining all those records in one device, that is. Then for the accessories, for the readers, which can be combined with this, we have these devices or the readers for use. For the accessories, they're listed at the bottom here. We have the enrollment readers, the locks, we have exit buttons, emergency breakless buttons, we have the door closures, and the Mayfair cards. So in this case, let's take a look at some other core devices which can be used by the smart PCs to manage the 64 number of doors. So this is a second generation access controller. So these controllers support the following functions: fingerprint identity on the controller using these readers that we have. For example, such reader like this one. So this is a can say 2-in-1 reader that supports fingerprint and card. At the same time, it supports multiple other readers, and that those readers get the power supply directly from the controller. At the same time, most of the readers are PoE, power over Ethernet, that is. Then again, has these flexible and configuration procedures or processes. At the same time, these devices use the user ID as a unique identification. So the user ID can either be the fingerprint, or let's say, for example, the cards for the multi-card password, or again can use, let's say, the face recognition, not the face, but rather the card fingerprint or the password. Then again, you can set some holiday period. You can bound the permissions, the persons associated to the door at the same time. We have user ID plus password plus limited by time period, whereby you can set some temporary password for the users. So for this second generation access control readers, card reader and either enrollment readers support the following functions. They have dual frequency support for both Mayfair and ID card. They have long range read card. They support two types of WIGAN communication protocol. We have WIGAN 26 and WIGAN 34, flexible switching. The products are highly protected against different grades for weatherproofing, such as dustproof levels and waterproof levels. So there's some that come with IP66, some come with IP65. So this is an interface for the Smart PCS Lite and the devices supported by the Smart PCS. So we have 4 types of devices can be supported by this Smart PCS, whereby we have the CCTVs or the cameras, which can be added to Smart PCS. We have the access control devices. We have the attendance devices. And again, we have the video intercom products. So you're not it's not like a recommendation to have all the devices put into the device, the smart PCS. You can choose the devices that you prefer working with. If I'm working with only cameras, I can just add the cameras only. If I need to just to work with the access control, you just leave the access controls selected. So this is where you have a way of selecting the devices that are going to be of helpful quite a lot at your end. So we have, let's say, for example, cameras, we have access control, we have the attendance, we have the video intercom. But assuming that this is what you're doing, the access control, what you're supposed to do is just to ensure that you've connected or maybe added the access control at your end. So this version of the Smart PCS is a lightweight platform that plays a core role in business and security for small and medium-sized businesses or the SMBs. So for professional management of the devices, we recommend the use of the DSS platform. So what do you have here? We have the number of devices supported, that is a 64. Video channels are 64. Access control, time attendance, 64. Attendance for the doors. Video intercom, we have up to a maximum of 512. That include the VTOs. We have the VTH, and again, we have the VTS. So in this case, there are the door stations, the indoor monitors, and the security, emergency security devices, the security guards, totaling to 512. So in this case, other general features, functions supported, the Smart PCS support all these devices, or maybe these features for configurations. For access control process using the Smart PCS is another simple process. But again, remember we said that we're going to have a session that's going to illustrate all these setups. So we have, first of all, take you back, select the devices. For example, go to access control. The access control, make sure that you add that access control device. So the access control device can either be added through the IP address of the device or the serial number of the device. So it depends on how you want to add. So make sure that again, you have the right username and password for the devices to switch their status from offline to online. Then once that is done, you can create your personal management. First of all, create a company. So through that company, create some departmental settings for each company. For example, the HR department. We have departments such as, for example, IT departments, just to mention a few. Then through those departments, you can add the users. So once you add the users, you can either create the time template settings. Then once that is done, you assign permissions to the groupings that we created. Assign permission to the group, for example, the IT group, or for example, the HR group or the sales group, etc. Then once that is done, you bind the permissions, those permissions to the persons or again, the department. So through that, you select the doors which each and every individual or the group is supposed to access. Now, once you do this, you can set up the advanced control access configuration settings. So if you don't want to do that, you can proceed on to enforce the rules that we have. Now, but if you want to make the environment more secure, you can do these advanced configuration settings for the fast card unlock, the multi-card, anti-passback, and the inter-door lock. So in this case, this is option. You can still go back to it and do the configurations once you've managed how we've known the number of doors each and every department or each and every person is supposed to access. Then once you configure this, just ensure that you access the configuration rule and choose the device or the terminal of which the cards or the fingerprints or the face are going to be working on that particular device. So the second last area is check a look at the 64-point network time attendance solution. So in this case, this is just highlighting what the devices do. So we are going to have another session just to guide you on the steps to which you're supposed to do the configurations for the devices. So on this bit, we are going to use the Smart PSS as our platform. So we have the Smart PSS on the client PC within the same network. In each and every of these floor and the number of doors, we have access control devices. So these two, this end, we have the access control time and attendance device, while on this other column here, we have the access control integrated device. So the good thing, if you don't have this, you can still use the access control integrated device because all the access control integrated devices support the time and attendance function. So you can either work with the access control devices or you can work with the access control attendance devices. They're still going to serve the same purpose. So again, we said for the Smart PSS, when setting up the attendance, you're limited to only 64 number of doors. For more other doors support, just switch from the Smart PSS Lite to DSS Express or to a more professional platform such as the DSS Pro. So this Smart PSS just offers you a centralized management of the devices, issues your complete time and attendance functions, and again is free of charge. For the product selection for this access control, attendance, say that you can use the attendance based on attendance provided by these integrated devices. You can see all this still support access attendance. So this integrated, we have the face integrated, all these faces, integrated devices, support time attendance. We have, let's say, for example, this other non-face recognition devices, for example, up to this point here. Yes, up to this point, they all support the face, not the face, but rather time attendant as solution. So for the attendance, remember that all these are just ASIs, access control integrated devices. There at the bottom here, we have the ASIs, that's attendance devices. So though these ASIs still have the function for the attendance devices. So in this case, first of all, you just click on attendance, then make sure that you add the devices. Devices, again, just to repeat, can be added through different ways, either by the IP, or again, you can add them by the serial numbers. But ensure that you have the right credentials for them so that their status changes from offline to online for you to use the device for configuration. The logical flow chart diagram for the attendance include the following. So when describing this, the next time we're going to describe by the following processes. First of all, adding the device. If I take you back from this particular end, you have to select attendance, then go to the devices and select your device for attendance. Then add the persons. From the persons, create the attendance rules. From the attendance rules, create your statistic item settings, then can set up the attendance period settings, followed up by the shift settings and the shift schedule settings. Then once that is done, you can either manually edit or just proceed on from that particular point to the attendance report. Once this is fully operational and you want to generate the report, you can decide to work on manually editing of those reports or auto-generating them. That is by doing the calculation, then brings you the report for you to extract. So the last bit, describe the entrance turnstiles. We'll call them the gates. So in this case, with our gates or the turnstiles, so this is through what you call the IRD or the Research Development Department of DAWA, providing a variety of speed gates and turnstiles with integration of self-developing server control algorithm systems, which include the integration of the face recognition devices, access control, and intercom technology, just to ensure that our products enable our products to adapt to different scenarios, because we have different behaviors for different individuals. So we need to have products which can counter those behaviors for people who are using the turnstiles. So we take a look at this. For the gate, speed gates, and turnstile families, we have the swing barrier. Swing barrier, that is, we have the flap barrier and we have the tripod turnstiles. So these are categorized into two major categories, such as the Pro series and the Light series. So in the Pro series, we have these gates which are provided here. For example, ASG B8. We have those are just the B8. Then we have ASG B6 with some other variables at the end. So these other variables gives them some other meaningful functions for these products that we have. Then Pro series of the flap barriers, we have these two products, but one is delisted. This is the new product that's been released to replace the old one. Then for the gates, we have this tripod turnstiles ASG T520T. For the light series, we have these barriers, the swing barrier, that is. We have these other models and the model next to it. So for the flap, this is what we have. You can see there's this flap wing that already has protruded toward this direction. So once this device recognizes you, what happens? They go inside to let you pass through. Then the tripod, we have the ASG G120T, SGG, with some other variables. And then again, we have ASGG1 variables B. So these are the new products that have been released in the market, trying to give more than meaningful functions as to what was there before. So the key features for this is that we have channel width optional. So meaning that we have multiple options for channel width to meet more scenarios. Because again, we find that there's some gates that's supposed to allow you to pass with bulky, for example, bulky trolleys, the ones that carry heavy luggages. We have infrared detector full coverage. This supports IR anti-squeeze and mechanical anti-squeeze to keep traffic safety. Then we have wide adaptability. Some of these products can be used for outdoor or indoor use and suitable for various conditions, from as low as -25 degrees to as high as 70 degrees Celsius. Now, depending on the region that you're in, because if different regions have different climatical changes. For the swing barrier, these are effectively for traffic safety. For example, you have some that have IR anti-squeeze, so you cannot pass two people at the same time. One has to pass, then the person follows. Alongside this, for safety, it again checks on anti-tailgating. So meaning that first of all, when someone passes, you cannot hold the swing barrier for the other person to pass by, or cannot hold before it locks for you to pass. Then has this power outage and opening. So in this case, in case, let's say for example, there's power outage, it can still open for you to pass. Though there must be a security guard at that particular point to control the traffic for safety of individuals. Then we have this mechanical anti-squeezing. So you cannot force yourself through because it will end up sounding an alarm. Then overtaking alarm, again, that can still be identified by this swing barrier. At the same time, we have this emergency opening. If there's some kind of emergency that have happened, so to reduce the cases of stampede, it can open for people to pass through. So in case, for the cases of authentication methods for you to end up to pass through the swing barriers, it supports, you can use, for example, the card, just the standard cards. You can use the face if it has a face terminal, access control device, and again, can use the fingerprint just to check on your fingerprint ID, then allow you to pass, or you can use the QR code. So these are the product families for the swing barriers. There's so many of them. We have the light series and the pro series. In each of these, it describes the functional features for the devices. For example, in this case, you can see let's say the air detectors for each. We have the lock and unlock speeds. We have, for example, the passage width, the barrier material. We have, for example, the operating environment and their protection. So in this case, each and every of these products comes with an added feature or function that's different from the others. So I'm going to issue this PPT for you to just go through it at your own time, at your own pace, for you to get more details on it. For the flap barrier, we have the following. We have different series. We have the value series and the pro series. In this case, all these are going to be used on product based setups. So we have the different images for all. So in this case, for the value series, the product remained. For the pro series, we have a replacement of the product. Okay? So we have it on this end. For the turnstiles, this is how they look like. So in this, for you to pass, it has to rotate. For you to pass, has to rotate for you to get to the other end. In terms of looking for a way of ensuring that you have safer way, let's say, for example, by using the face recognition or using the cards or the fingerprint. I believe this has those options, only they're not indicated here. So just, for example, let's say, for example, this one, you press your card, then for it, the tripod to swing, to rotate for you to pass the other end again. If you're using fingerprint, there's some that support fingerprint, there's some that support, let's say, for example, the face, if connected to the face terminal access controller. So for the face verification through the intelligent verification, we have the face recognition terminals, which are going to be combined with any of those gates that we mentioned before. So they are seamless access bridge for convenient passage that gives you the following features. For example, the speed to which they're going to recognize the user's faces, that is less than 0.3 seconds per person. They have an accuracy rate of 99.9%, that is, and strong adaptability to harsh environments. Then they're convenient enough because some offer touchless access. So we have, let's say, for example, the device installation optional and multiple management interfaces. So remember the Bluetooth card. We have the Bluetooth card, and then again the face, mean that you don't have to touch anywhere, just recognize your face, or you can use the Bluetooth just to allow you to pass through. Then these are trusted devices with anti-spoofing algorithm against photo and video attack. So you cannot carry someone's photo and place it on the camera for that access control because of the anti-spoofing algorithm against photos that people use to try to pass through these turnstiles. Sorry. So this is the face recognition terminal gets with the face recognition devices. So in this case, these end up recognizing your faces a lot more quicker and create an opening for you to pass through. So the recommended products, we can recommend the 6213S, 7213SW, we have 7213KW, and 8213SWV1. So in this case, each and every of these models carries different capacity of the data, such as face capacity, fingerprint capacity, and not fingerprint, but rather card capacity. So this is just a basic system topology for how these devices can be interconnected to achieve this security solution for access control. So we have different platforms which can be used. This is a smart PSS that supports a maximum 64 devices. We have the DSS Pro. This can have as many devices. Then again, we have these enrollers. For the face enrollers, the card enroller. Then since all these are network devices, can be connected to the network switch to connect to multiple other access controls within the environment that you want to provide more access control security features. So all these devices can be applicable or maybe can say this solution is applicable to these application scenarios such as the office building. We have factories, residential buildings, we have schools, libraries, and the metro station, that is. So in this case, this is a solution that's going to guarantee you safety of passage of individuals from one point to another point, identifying, let's say, for example, the block list, identifying, for example, the VIP list, and again, can identify just the normal users who are within a certain environment that requires access to different areas. So with this brings me to an end of today's access control and attendant solution management. So if you have a question, you can ask. Maybe I can go back to the questions that were sent over the chat. I'll start by okay, someone just sent an email. Would also like to know how time and attendance is configured. Yes, we are going to create a session for that. I would like to also be included in the training. Yes, like I said, I'm going to share the link to all the respective groups for you to get the links. Then in terms of practically configurations, you'll have to come physically to our office. That is Westland, Smoothie Road, Mitsumi Business Park, 6th floor. We are located 6th floor. Just pass by. From maybe 9 to 5, you're going to get some assistance. So Daniel's asking us to give the practical tutorial when we come at it. Yes. Yes, I have this practical tutorial I'm going to assign to you. I'm going to give them to you after, let's say, the training. Yeah, more other question can also get the slides for the. Yes, I'm going to share the slides. Once you leave your email address, I'm going to forward the slides to your end so that you can download and go through it at your own time. Please share the documents for this session. Yes, as long as you've left your email address, I'm going to share the document with you. Thank you. Materials for yesterday's session. Okay, if I didn't send the yesterday's session, I can send 3 copies for yesterday's 2 sessions and today's session as well. Thank you for reminding me that. Do you have physical trainings and certifications? Yes, we have physical training and exam. Then at the end of the day, you're issued a certification training. So next weekend on 8th of June, we have certification training for this DHSP for smart buildings. Okay, so that's going to be access control and intercom systems. Okay, then if everyone has shared their email address and let's say, for example, there's no question. Okay, there's something I forgot to do to unmute your mics. Okay, so you can unmute your mic and ask a question if there's a question that you want to ask.
Sorry,
Yes,
I've been late.
Yes.
Yes, I've been late for joining the meeting, but I had a question.
Yes.
I was kindly requesting to know if there's a training.
Physical training?
Practical training. I mean, practical training.
Yes. We have a practical session on certification training on this access control and video intercom systems. 8th of next month. 8th of next month. So we have a full day training, then going to do theory and a practical. At the same time, you're going to do an exam for you to be certified. If you can't wait till next week on 8th, you can pass by at office anytime from 9 to, let's say, 4:30. I'm going to be given someone to take you through the configurations for these products practically, the controllers and the access controls. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
No, please.
Okay. Alan's, when do we have a session for cloud storage solutions? Once it's prepared, I'm going to have that shared. Then again, everyone's going to attend the cloud sessions for the storage. Okay, so if there are no more questions, concerns, or queries, we are free to leave at our own pleasure. So we're going to meet again in the afternoon for a different session, another project. So in the afternoon, we're going to have a shorter session for storage and memory. So just promoting DAO memory and storage for consumption. So thank you so much. Sorry
for interrupting. Sorry.
Yes.
I was requesting if you will you share the presentation for yesterday and today?
Yes.
I will.
It's okay. I'm going to share it.
Okay.
Just leave your email address. You're going to get 3 copies, yesterday's and today's.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.